TrophySmack.com. Fantasy football isn't about winning. It's about showing off when you do. That's why we've teamed up with TrophySmack.com. They've got championship trophies, belts, rings, draft boards, even loser punishments. All the stuff that makes your league unforgettable. And the best part, you can now support the show while upgrading your league. Just hit the link in the description of this podcast and grab something from Trophy Smack today. So don't settle for weak bragging rights. Go big, go bold, and make sure your fantasy league's champion looks like a legend. Check out TrophySmack.com. Link is right there in the description. Hey, what's up, we're here August 28th on a Thursday, and we have league winners for you. It is the biggest fantasy drafting weekend of the year, and so we want to make sure you had a good list of guys who can win in your league. Now, when we say league winners, understand what we're saying. We know that Jamar Chase is going to go off. We know that Chase Brown is going to go off. We know that, fill in the blank with whatever top-end player is going to go off. These are league winners, which means the value is insane. Where they're going, you're going to get an incredible return on investment, and that is how you win a league. I think you can – I don't know if you can always win a league in the first round. You kind of just take what you're supposed to take. But you can certainly lose a league in the first round, but you can win a league here as you go through your draft, and you get great value later in the draft, and that's kind of how you win the league for me. Boys, how you doing? How the fantasy league's going so far for both of you?
I had a surprise draft last night for a league I did not know I was a part of, but I killed it. I killed it.
That's the best.
Second pick. I had the second pick, and surprisingly, Jamar Chase was there. First overall pick, I took Saquon Barkley. So safe to say I'm doing well in this league.
Yeah, not good. Ainge, how you doing?
I've only had one draft. It was our the league that we're all in. It's our Dynasty Keeper draft. But yeah, no, my draft weekend is this weekend. I have one Friday, I have one tomorrow, or today if it's coming out today, Saturday, and then Sunday or Monday, I think.
Any more spots left in the listener leagues?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, no. But if you want to do it, I'll kick someone more now if you have a funny story.
Yeah, if you guys want to be if you guys want to be in a listener league,
telling us why you belong.
Yeah. DM us on Instagram if you want to be in a listener league, and we'll try to find a spot for you. Maybe an expanded league. We'll do something. If you want to play fantasy football with us, let us know on Instagram, DM, and we'll try to make it happen. All right, boys, we're doing league winners for 2025. We're each going to share a couple and kind of just see how this goes. I have a pretty big list. I know Angel has an even larger list. Angel, why don't you get us started? League winners.
Yeah, I'll start with a let's just do a single up the middle, just a really basic one. Drake May, right? Everyone looking like, so if you don't get the top four quarterbacks in your league, the Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, or
Jane
Daniels, you kind of fall off a cliff. It kind of goes really down. Then there's a Joe Burrow tier. Then after that, it's just the guys who can run. Basically, that's the key. Get a guy who can run. Drake May last year as a starter finished with 421 rushing yard. That's only in 13 games. At UNC with 14 games, had 700 yards. So you know the upside is there. And it's kind of been noted all offseason. The improvements to the offensive line, Trayvon Henderson, Stephon Diggs on the outside. No matter what you think of the improvements, they are improvements. They're steps in the right direction. Last year, as a starter, averaged 16.8 points per game. If you were to add a little more touchdowns in there, he could easily sneak into that top 7. And he's going later. He's going in the 8th, 9th round. You can get him way later. The noise might be a little bit too loud. He might go a little bit earlier because he's been kind of a popular sleeper for like a while. I think Drake May, a nice sleeper if you don't get a top 4, or you get a Joe Burrow and you want to make sure you have a little bit of upside on the back end. Drake May, just kind of an easy sleeper here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking would be my strategy with Drake May. I don't know if I would just completely punt on quarterback and pick Drake May as my guy. But the upside is there. It's obvious. You would have liked that he got more passing options, but right now he's going as quarterback. This is Fantasy Pros, quarterback 15. So in theory, you can draft a starter like a Baker Mayfield, a Bo Nix, a Brock Purdy, someone in that range, and wait and pick up Drake May maybe a little bit later and have that huge upside to where maybe now you have 2 quarterbacks, and we know that, someone, if a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or someone like that went down, that would become a very, very valuable asset in a single quarterback league. I like Drake Maye, and I think, yeah, definitely at that position, like at that value for sure. Guys going right ahead of him, AJ. Drake Maye or Justin Herbert?
He's going right. I'll go with Drake Maye.
Drake Maye or Jared Goff?
I mean, Goff's been killing it. QB7 last year, I believe. QB10 the year before. The potential of Drake Maye's rushing ability, though, and the potential of this offense, I'll go with Drake Maye. That's
kind of where he is, just slotting in right behind the second tier passers. So you have like the top tier passers, the Burrow and Mahomes and Mayfield. Maybe we'll see if he can repeat. And then you have that second tier of passers. But running is a cheat code in quarterbacks, and if he can keep that part of his game intact, then yeah, for sure.
And here's the thing with the list of guys you just read off. Like if you're drafting, let's say you got the first or second pick or the last or second to last pick in your draft, and you're drafting at either turn, and you do decide to punt on quarterback, why not take Drake Maye and one of those guys back to back in those late rounds and just see which one.
Yeah, I mean, guys going after him. If Drake Maye is your first quarterback, I don't know if like CJ Stroud's going after him. I know a guy on your list is going after him. There's good value here in the back end. AJ, why don't you do your quarterback?
Yeah, no, that's a perfect segue. Guy on my list is Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers quarterback, going as QB 17 right now. His last fully healthy season, he was quarterback 5. And that was a season without Josh Jacobs. That was without Matthew Golden, basically without a full season of Tucker Kraft. That was before the Jaden Reed breakout. 4,100 yards that season, 32 touchdowns. He had 4 rushing touchdowns that season.
Yeah.
I don't think a top 10 year is out of the question. I have the Packers winning the division. I think we have a huge Jordan Love bounce back season. He was hurt last year. He got hurt week 1 and played through it the rest of the season. Clearly you could see, that first game that he came back, you could see he was hobbled.
Right.
I just think with a revamped wide receiver room, a solid run game, and a healthy season, I think the sky's the limit for Jordan Love.
Yeah, and last year was kind of an outlier year. The Packers were one of 3 teams to run the ball more than 50% of their offensive snaps. That's not going to happen again. Mainly that's probably because Jordan Love was battling 3 injuries last year. One he got week 17, but still he had a lot of injuries last year, starting in week 1. I think he's going right behind Caleb Williams. I take him over Caleb Williams, even with the Caleb Williams upgrades. His upside and his little sneaky rushing ability, when he was healthy, he had like 5 touchdowns rushing. So, yeah, this is a nice, solid guy to get. Pairing him with, you can get him, and that's top 10 potential instantly. And with the acquisition of Matthew Golden, maybe that goes up a little bit. Yeah, this is a solid pick.
And it's a good segue into my first one. I'm going to go with Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden right now is going in the 8th round, about halfway through the 8th round, 8.5. To me, Matthew Golden is the number 1 receiver already. He's a number 1 receiver that Jordan Love has never had. He's never had a receiver like that. I wrote in an article I posted today, don't mistake a crowded room with a talented room. Just because there's a bunch of guys there who are okay receivers doesn't mean that he has a bunch of competition. If you're just better than everyone else, you're immediately in your own class. And I think as Green Bay's and Jordan Love specifically, who we're talking about, as his number 1 receiver, like what can that be? You're Jordan Love's number 1 receiver. What is that worth in the NFL? We really haven't seen it yet. Like if you're a legit number 1 type guy. And I think Matthew Golden's going to eat. It might take a couple of weeks because he's a rookie, but I think, by week 5 or 6, this guy's going to be consistently hitting top 12 to top 8 fantasy numbers. To me, Matthew Golden, the 8th round, stick him in one of your flexes after you've taken 2 other better receivers. I think you're golden.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
I love that pick.
My next guy is one who I personally love. Okay. Well, I've liked this guy for years. I've been hoping that my team has gotten him for about 2 years now. It's running back Jaylen Warren going as RB 27. The situation has changed. Najee Harris is not there. Najee Harris literally did not miss a game in the entire career of Jaylen Warren being on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now he's gone. You have a rookie first rounder who, and the big knock on rookie, yeah, he's a talented guy. The big knock on rookies always is pass pro. Can they pass block? You're not going to put him out there with a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Career averages, he averages 61.7 scrimmage yards per game, 4.8 yards per carry. He's always been explosive. I think this year, maybe you're looking for someone to fill in the Rashid Rice flex option. You need a guy who can just cover a couple games. Jaylen Warren, nice, easy running back. It's kind of for the hero to the zero RB drafters. This is a nice guy to get, a sneaky RB1. Not going to cost you anything. He's not even. You can literally draft him in the later rounds and not even worry about.
Do you know his ADP?
Yeah, his current ADP is RB29.
8.1 RB29, going after guys like Tyrone Tracy, his teammate Caleb Johnson, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery.
In PPR leagues, he's worth more, but I really do think this year, pass pro, he's not a bad runner, even though he's short. He's still 215. He can still run in between the tackles.
Yeah, he's not a little guy.
Yeah, this is a very sneaky kind of like when you draft him, it's not going to be cool or fun. It's not going to be, but when he starts putting up 14 points a game because he gets 6 catches a game because Aaron Rodgers can't run no more, then it'll start to be fun.
I love what you brought up as him being a early season replacement for somebody like Rashid Rice. Because, I mean, especially it's a shared backfield with a rookie, but you don't expect the rookie to get a significant workload until the second half of the season. So you take a guy like Jaylen Warren, you slot him into that flex spot, and you wait for Rashid Rice to come back for his suspension. I know this is a very specific scenario, but I love that, especially for a guy like this who's going to get the majority of the work in the beginning of the season. And he just seems like that perfect Arthur Smith type of guy. I feel like Arthur Smith is absolutely going to use a player like this. He's on the shorter side, but 215, he's a solid running back.
Yeah. AJ, you want to share one? Or you want me to go with one?
I'll drop one in. I'm going to go with New Orleans Saints receiver Rashid Shaheed. He is going as the wide receiver 54. If I'm looking at my draft and I see Trey Harris, Luther Burden, Darnell Mooney, and Rashid Shaheed, I'm smashing the Rashid Shaheed button.
Yeah.
His first 4 of his first 5 games last season, obviously when he was healthy before the injury, 16.3 points, 20.9, 15.7, 18.6. And the thing that I love most about this is his snap percentage went up week to week. Went from 68, went down a little bit to 66, then 75%, 77 to 87% of the snaps. That's what you want to see from a guy going in the 50s, in wide receiver 54. You got a guy who's playing 80% of the snaps. The big play potential is there. And we look at this offense and we immediately think that Chris Olave is the best receiver on this team. Do we know that for sure? I think Rashid Shaheed, it just has a clear path to being a part of the offense. We don't know what the offense is going to be, but when you're picking that low, I think he's a solid player with great upside.
Yeah, he's been sneaky good for a while. He just plays for the Saints, and no one watches or covers the Saints. But yeah, he's honestly, it's getting to the point now where if you miss out on Chris Olave, you're like, okay, I'm perfectly fine taking a Rashid Shaheed, who might finish there as the wideout one. You don't know, but they've been mixing them up in the slot on the outside, both of them. So you never know who stays healthy or who gets because Shaheed is super talented. That's what you know. You can get him on the field, get the ball in his hands, see what happens. It's a real opportunity this year for him.
Yeah, and like I know a lot of people, I wouldn't put myself in this. Just stay away from bad offenses altogether. But something you can look to capitalize in is teams are going to constantly be behind and constantly have to throw the ball, and just the volume will be there. And sometimes that's all you need. And if you get someone as talented as Rashid Shaheed and the volume is going to be there, that can be a very valuable asset, especially down with the guys that AJ was mentioning. For sure, Shaheed's the option there. I'm going to go with one that I am so bullish on. I've tried to trade for him in our dynasty draft. It's just not working out. But I'm going to be drafting him as much as I can. And that's George Pickens in Dallas. George Pickens right now is going as, in the 5th round, 5.8. He's going as the wide receiver. Let me see. Let me scroll all the way down here. Wide receiver 27. I want to know the difference between Dallas and Cincinnati right now. They just traded away Micah Parsons. Their offense isn't very good. Everyone's trying to get on that Cincinnati Bengals train, and you absolutely should. But if you missed out on the Cincinnati Bengals, get on this Dallas Cowboys train because they're about to throw the ball so much. They can't run the ball. They don't really have a good running back there if they wanted to run the ball. They're about to throw the ball top 5 in the league, up and down the field. They have a legit number 1 who's going to steal away coverage just like Jamar Chase, and they have a quarterback who has shown can put up monster numbers in the league. Dak, don't forget, just a couple years ago, was a beast during the regular season. He could put up the ball just in the same way that Joe Burrow can. I think the number 2 receiver there is a very valuable position, especially since it's someone as talented as George Pickens. He's going more than 2 rounds after T. Higgins, and I think they have very similar years, especially if George Pickens stay healthy, which he's been much more healthy than T. Higgins in his career. I think George Pickens at that ADP is a major steal and someone who you can look up, and he's top 15 to top 20, and you got him way down there in the 8th round. What did I say? The 8th round or whatever it is. I think George Pickens is a major opportunity for you to get some value out of those later rounds.
Oh yeah, he's always been talented. Now with the best quarterback he's ever played with in his entire career. Never had to face double coverage with CeeDee Lamb. It's hard to find negatives besides the fact that he's just kind of an odd guy. But it's not off the field problems. It's just on the field he's a goofball. But
yeah,
I feel like
he will crash out.
Yeah, he will crash out, but he'll also give you 15 points before the crash out.
So he's going after Jameson Williams. I'll take Pickens. He's going after Devonta Smith. I love Devonta Smith. I'll take Pickens. He's going after rookie Ted McMillan. I'll take Pickens. Xavier Worthy. Just a lot of these guys are just not going to get the kind of volume he has, and I just think he's a smash play. And you got another one?
Yeah, it's we're going to the dark depths of the tight end realm here, where it's not all sunshine and
fun.
Tight end Brenton Strange, it's the Jaguars. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be cool. It's not going to be sexy. Last year, 411 yards, 53 targets. But last year when he started, when Evan Engram was out, which is like half the year last year, 10 points per game, going as a tight end 21. You can do a lot worse. Sometimes you just got to get a guy, just give me 10 points. Seems like the safest tier 4 tight end. Because in a Liam Cohen offense where he's going to get all the dump offs, where he's going to get plays that are designed for him. Because last year, K. Dotton had a couple weeks there where he was shining because he just that offense knew where to go, where to put a funnel targets to. I think Brenton Strange is a nice buy low. Obviously, pair him with maybe a tier 2 tight end. But you never know if he can come out, become a top 15, 10, 8 guy, just a solid guy. Not going to give you a lot after the catch, but he's going to catch a lot. A decent dart throw later on in the drafts.
I think he's the perfect guy to use your last pick on, especially if you drafted a tight end in like the TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku range.
Yeah.
Where you can see someone like, do you have both of them?
Yes, I have both of them.
My bad.
I have Njoku and Hawkinson.
I didn't know that at all. But where you can see like a guy like Brenton Strange, like maybe we're a year early on him, but maybe that starts towards the end of this season. And he becomes a guy that becomes a real piece toward the end of the season, kind of like Trey McBride was 2 years ago. Trey McBride, that breakout happened like week 12 or week 13. Yeah. And if you had a tight end that was just kind of serviceable all season, well, now you've got a guy who's a real part of the offense. And no, I think I think he's a perfect last pick of your draft type of guy.
Yeah. AJ, I'll give one more and then you'll finish this up. Okay. Cool. Since you're talking about tight ends, I wanted to bring up a tight end that I'm going to draft as much as I can on a lot of my teams because tight end is a tricky position. And if you can find a way to not have to spend a high pick on the McBrides and Bowers and whoever else you want to put in that category, finding value late can really be a cheat code. My guy's Evan Engram, Denver tight end, going right now in the back of the 7th round. He is just 2 years removed from 114 catches in a season, 114 catches in a season, and back-to-back top 5 finishes. He is the hand-picked joker of Sean Payton. Last year, Bo Nix threw the ball on average 6.7 yards down the field. That's 29th in the league. So not great for Bo Nix, but fantastic if you're someone who operates in that shallow to intermediate range, that is Evan Engram. And I think Evan Engram is about to get peppered with targets. They didn't have a guy to operate in that area of the field the way Evan Engram does last year. Now give Evan Engram those targets, and a guy who already excels that way, I think he can be possibly lead Denver in catches. I think Cortland Sutton will get the bigger plays, and Marvin Mims even obviously the bigger plays. But I think Evan Engram could legitimately lead the Broncos in receptions this year.
Yeah. Speaking as a Bronco fan, last year you could see them target and design plays for tight end, but there was nothing there. There's nothing.
Yeah, it was too. Who was the guy?
It
Troutman?
was Adam Troutman, and we just tried to force him to be in a pass catcher, which isn't. And don't let the preseason fool you. Sean Payton never shows anything. He played. Evan Engram had that one big run, and then they took him out immediately. Evan Ingram's going to play in the slot a lot. It's going to be a lot of two tight ends with Troutman and him in the slot. And like Joey said, the Denver Bronco offense is a lot of short or deep. They don't do a lot of that intermediate stuff. So I think Evan Engram will get a lot of design catches and a lot of stuff where in the red zone where tight ends really can set themselves apart. I think in the red zone, they might really make his mark there.
Yeah, receptions, red zone targets. You're talking about a guy who has tight end one potential in Denver, and that's not being dramatic. AJ, you got a last one?
Yeah, so this is a wide receiver going in that aforementioned Luther Burden, Trey Harris, Darnell Mooney range. Going at wide receiver 51. Stay with me. He's on a lot of never again lists, but 49ers wide receiver Brandin Aiyuk.
Okay.
Good luck.
On the pup.
No, go ahead.
But listen. We are drafting to win weeks 15, 16, and 17.
Okay.
Not to win week 1 through 4.
Yeah.
We got the soft update from Shanahan saying that he's eyeing a week 6 return. Who knows? But I mean, going at wide receiver 51, having the potential of the number one pass catcher, number one wide receiver in that San Francisco offense over stashing Darnell Mooney on your bench, I can't pass that up. And if he doesn't pan out, if he comes back and he's not what he was, then you didn't put too much stock into it. But just do me a favor. Imagine your lineup right now. Now imagine you're going into the fantasy playoffs with a fully healthy Brandin Aiyuk added to that lineup. I think the reward just completely outweighs the risk here. And again, wide receiver 51, a guy who had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons when he was healthy. I think the sky's the limit here for a guy going as late as he is.
Yeah, it'd be if you draft him, you have to put up with a lot of coach speak, a lot of just honestly, don't listen to the news article or don't read the tweets. Wait until they say active, ready for game, whatever. Because Age is right. If you can put up with getting by without him from weeks 1 to 9 to 10 and when playoffs in week 13, if he's healthy and going and Ricky Pearsall can't carry the full workload there, he hasn't done it yet. We haven't seen it. Brandin Aiyuk can totally do that. So, yeah, it might not be a bad guy. Maybe stash him and Rashid Rice. And in the playoffs, you have just these two guys ready to go. These wideout ones for teams that are good with decent quarterbacks. That's not bad.
So that's exactly what I did in the draft I mentioned happened last night. I'm stashing Rashid Rice and Brandin Aiyuk to hopefully add to Jamar Chase.
They have IR spots?
Yeah, I've got Aiyuk in the IR spot.
It's a no-brainer if you have the IR spot.
My defense slipped Aiyuk into the IR spot and then took my defense.
Yeah, if you have an IR spot and Rashid Rice and Aiyuk are out there because people don't want to deal with it. I guess
as a commissioner who has to monitor IR spots, make sure you can put a suspended player in your IR spots. Check with league commissioner. I'm speaking for commissioners here.
Well, you could definitely put Aiyuk there. And if Ayuk's available and you have an IR spot, put Aiyuk in there. That's a no-brainer and just forget about him until, like AJ said, playoff time.
And then he's a happy surprise late in the season. Like, I have Brandin Aiyuk.
And it's going to cost you nothing. Well, I don't even know where Ayuk's going at right now, but I'm sure it's
wide receiver 51.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're good. You're good. All right, guys. That's our league winners this year. Great values later in the draft. Good luck with all your drafts this weekend. Like I said, if you want to join a Bench Warmers League, go to DM us on Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to the Bench Podcast because that's where the fantasy playlist will be. We're dropping episodes just like this twice a week, as well as Sunday morning, last minute injury thing, and a bunch of content all throughout the week. Make sure you're subscribed. Anything else, fellas?
Hey, good luck in your drafts this weekend.
Nope. Good luck in your draft. Yeah, it's this is I love draft weekend. It's so fun.
Yeah.
All right, later, guys.